Hello there, welcome to the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon, and today I'm going to give you my prediction for the 2022 World Cup Final. If that sounds interesting, then let's hop right into it. So the 2022 World Cup Final is finally here. We have two teams left to contest the World Cup trophy for this edition of the World Cup Finals. But we can't also forget we have the third place match as well. So without further ado, let's get into my predictions. And of course, we have to start off with the third place match. We have to give respect to whoever is going to win the bronze medal, as well as the two other losing semifinalists. They made it this far. They deserve a trophy between the two of them. We have Croatia versus Morocco. And I think that both of these teams, obviously massive underdogs. No one could have predicted either of these teams making it this far. It is really cool to see them making it this far. And even though they got defeated in the semifinals, like I said, this is historic runs from both of these teams. Croatia, obviously making it to the final. No one thought that they would even make it to the final in 2018. And then to follow that up with almost making it to the final again, back-to-back. Imagine this tiny, small country of Croatia making back-to-back World Cup semifinals. And then Morocco, a team that, no one even thought would make it out of their group, and then making it all the way to the semifinals with the best defense in the tournament. Such historic runs from both of these teams. Huge respect to both of them. Now, between these two countries, it'll be really interesting to see how they play, considering they have somewhat similar styles. They both have styles that are more based around defense and being solid at the back rather than going toe-to-toe with your opponent. Like I said, Morocco, in my opinion, the best defense of the tournament. I mean, just look at guys like Saiss, El Yamik, Aguerd. I hope I'm pronouncing all these names right. Guys like Hakimi as well, Bono in goal. But then you compare that to Guardiola, Dejan Lovren, Juranovic, Sosa, Livakovic for Croatia, and then both of these teams very, very strong defensively, and they took down some massive giants on their way here, with Croatia, taking out Brazil, and then Morocco defeating Belgium, and then eliminating Spain and Portugal. Now, I think that it's going to be interesting to see these two teams going up against each other, because one of these teams is going to have to attack. They obviously both can't just sit back and defend. One of these teams is going to have to go forward. I think that Croatia probably has a better attack going forward, maybe. That's not to say that Morocco's attack is bad. They're very clinical. They had some very, very dangerous players. I mean, look at Ziyech, look at Hakimi, look at En-Nesyri as well. So I think that the onus might be on Croatia. But that being said, I think this Croatian team didn't necessarily expect to get this far. I think they're going to be extremely tired. And I think we're going to see some heavy legs, similar to how they played against Argentina, where their game plan kind of fell apart just because of how tired they were, and also how good Argentina was. But still, a big part of that was because of how tired Croatia are. Versus Morocco have the home fans still on their side. Obviously, this is the first World Cup in an Arab country. Morocco is an Arab team. They made it this far, the first Arab and African team to make it to the semifinals. I think that this match is going to go in Morocco's favor. I'm going to say that Croatia's defense is not going to be as strong because they're going to be as tired, maybe not as highly motivated, considering they didn't make it to the final. And ultimately, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Morocco. I think Morocco wins bronze, which is amazing considering going into the tournament. Imagine telling someone that Morocco is going to be, the team the third place team in this tournament. But anyway, now let's go on to the showpiece match. Now let's go on to France versus Argentina in what should be a really equal matchup, but it also should be a very exciting matchup. Obviously, I think these two teams are going to be centered around both of their stars, both of the number 10s. You have Lionel Messi for Argentina, as well as Kylian Mbappe for France. I think both of these guys have dragged this team this far. I think, this might be a hot take, but if you remove both of them from their teams, I don't think either team makes it to the final. I think both of these teams have been good. They've been good enough to make it to the final. But I don't think either of these teams are complete monster machines, era-defining teams or anything like that. You go back to Germany in 2014, Spain in 2010, Italy in 2006. These are some of the best teams you'll ever see. That's not to say that this French side or this Argentinian side are bad. They definitely deserve to make it to the final, considering how they play this tournament, but I don't think that they stack up against those teams. Now, what does stack up against those teams, or what does stack up against the past, is the individual performances of Messi and Mbappe. Both of these guys, this will go down as some of the best individual performances ever at a World Cup. I mean, we're talking comparable to like Maradona in 1986, especially, you keep talking about Messi and him winning the World Cup for Argentina, the inevitable Maradona comparisons come up. I mean, you look at Maradona in 1986, he scored 5 goals, had 5 assists, 10 goal contributions. Messi is 5 goals, 3 assists. It's only 2 assists or 2 goal contributions away from equaling that record. That's the most ever goal contributions at a single World Cup from a single player. Mbappe, similar story, 5 goals, 2 assists. He's been very explosive, very fiery on the wing. I would say Messi's been slightly the better player, but in the end of the day, all Mbappe needs to do is just have a better final, and that's all that matters. So, and vice versa for Messi as well. It all rests on this one game. I think that it should be really interesting to see both these players go up against each other, how they handle the pressure. Obviously, both of them have played in a final before. Mbappe played in the 2018 final. Now, obviously, he wasn't the star that he is today. He was still a very, very good player, but he wasn't the star of the team. The team wasn't centered around him like it is now. But he had a pretty decent game. He scored a nice goal to make it 4-1 to France. Compare that to Messi. Messi played in the 2014 final. A very different Argentinian team at the time. And Messi did not have that good of a game. He missed a chance that he probably should have scored against Neuer. And, he had some good passes, he had some good dribbles, but it wasn't the free-flowing Messi that we see today. Now, again, that Argentinian team was very different, and, of course, Germany is by far the best team of that tournament, so take that with a grain of salt. But both of these guys have history in this match, and they both have history that they want to make up for. Messi wants to make up for that failure in 2014. He wants to win his World Cup for Argentina, and the team around him wants Messi to win, obviously upon also winning it for themselves, for their own country. Mbappe, on the other hand, Mbappe wants to solidify himself as one of the best players of all time by winning back-to-back World Cups and having, a monstrous performance over just the span of 2 World Cups at such a young age. Now, both of these teams as well, outside of Messi and Mbappe, they do have some visible flaws. I think both of them are weak in defense. Both of these teams have conceded 5 goals. If you look at the past World Cup champions, at least in this 32-team format, not many have conceded that many goals. I mean, France in 2018, they also conceded 5 goals, but you go back, you look at Germany in 2014, they only conceded 4 goals throughout the entirety of the World Cup. Spain and Italy in 2010 and 2006 only conceded 2 goals the entirety of the World Cup. They only conceded 2 goals. Versus going into this match, both of these teams, Argentina and France, have 1 more game to play. They could concede more. They most likely will concede more because I doubt that this game is going to finish 0-0 and go to penalties. It's possible, but I don't think it will happen. So, I think you look at these teams, on the other hand, on the other side of the pitch, they've had some really blistering attacks. We mentioned Messi and Mbappe, but for Argentina, look at Julian Alvarez. Look at Enzo Fernandez. Look at Alexis McAllister. For France, look at Olivier Giroud. Look at Dembele, Griezmann. So, it's going to be, who can score more goals, essentially. Which is why I think we're set in for a very exciting final. I think there's going to be lots of goals. Maybe not the best defensive performance we've ever seen in a World Cup final. We're not going to see, Italy versus France in 2006 or something like that, or Spain versus Netherlands in 2010. But I think we could see, a similar game to the last final, France versus Croatia, or, Argentina versus West Germany in 1986, or something, or some of the older finals where there was a lot more goals. I think we're on for something like that this time around. Now, I think, like I said, this match is just going to come down to whoever has the more efficient attack. And I am going to side with Argentina on this one because if you look at each of these games, the attack has been centered around Messi. No one has been able to contain Messi, whether it be a team like Croatia that has a very strong defense, or a team like the Netherlands, which just on paper probably has the best defense of the tournament, or even a team like Australia, who maybe not as talented. They're a very strong team collective. They're very solid at the back. They weren't able to contain Messi, and Messi has been insane this tournament. He's scored in all but one of his games so far, and even in that one game he didn't score against Poland, he still had a pretty good performance overall. Compare that to France. Their attack is centered around Mbappe. Mbappe, obviously, we're splitting hairs here, but he, I feel like, hasn't been as consistent as Messi. He's been obviously very consistent, but not as much as Messi. You look at the game against England, I thought he was completely shut down by Kyle Walker. I don't think he had pretty much anything of note throughout the entirety of the game against England. And then against Morocco, yes, his dribbles were dangerous, but he wasn't able to get a shot off. It was very tough for him to get just a clean shot on goal. It was made very, very hard for him, which shows that it is possible to stop Mbappe, or at least stop him enough. Versus Messi, it's virtually impossible to stop Messi. And look, we looked at Morocco, we've looked at Croatia, two of the strongest defensive teams in the tournament. Croatia was not able to stop Messi at all. Morocco wasn't necessarily able to fully stop Mbappe, but they were able to stifle him a little bit. So, compare that to, France's defense, for example. France's defense has not been that strong. So, if Croatia couldn't stop Messi, France definitely can't stop Messi. So, overall, my exact prediction for the game is that it's going to start off pretty feisty. I think Argentina is going to take the lead. I think France is going to hit one back. I think maybe a goal from Julian Alvarez is going to open the score. But then Mbappe is going to equalize. I think that Enzo Fernandez will take the lead for Argentina in the second half before Mbappe will score another to tie it 2-2. I think it's going to be sent to extra time. And I'm going to say the fairy tale ending comes to a close with Messi scoring the winner to make it 3-2 to Argentina. I think that, if you look at the 1986 final, ended up 3-2 for Argentina. Maradona was not able to score the winning goal for Argentina. He was able to assist the winning goal from Jorge Burruchaga. I think we're going to see slightly different change of events here. There's been a lot of comparisons between Messi and Maradona, the 86 run versus this run in 2022. I think that Messi will come up big in this final, and he's going to score the winner for Argentina. Now, Messi has had some bad history in finals. He missed a penalty in 2016 for Argentina in the Copa America against Chile. He didn't really do much in the 2015 final. Like I just said, he missed that pretty much a clear shot against Germany in the 2014 final. This time, I think Messi will make up for his mistakes. I mean, Messi's already made up for a lot of his mistakes already. People have been criticizing Messi for not showing up in the World Cup in general, not showing up in the knockout stages. Messi has put all of those to bed. I think he's going to put this last one to bed. Not only is he going to win the World Cup overall, I think he will score the winner in the final. And like I said, it's going to be high scoring because I think both of these teams, even if they try to defend, they don't have the capacity to do so. Their teams are just not set up to do that. And that's where their flaws are. So they're not going to play to their flaws. They're going to play to their strengths, and their strengths are their attack, specifically their star player. But in the end of the day, I think this is still Messi's era. Mbappe, as good as he is and as good as he will be, this is still Messi's era. Messi is still here. He is one last swan song at the World Cup. And I think this is where he proves that he is, in my opinion, the best player of all time. So, I'm saying 3-2 Argentina. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Do you think France is going to win this? Do you think, Messi's going to have another clunker of a performance in the final? Do you think that their defense is going to be able to shut down Argentina and that, France is going to win? Or do you think that France is just going to, bottle it? Do you think Argentina is going to run riot? Because there has been reports of illness spreading around French squad. So do you think that you know, maybe with missing some players or just having bad morale, you know, Argentina's just going to run right. I mean, that's happened before. Remember Brazil versus France in 1998. Ronaldo had the seizure that not only made Ronaldo play bad in the final, but the whole team was shaken. That France just completely destroyed them 3-0. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Share this video with a friend. But anyway, guys, my name is Brandon. This has been the Football Block. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your night.